Hello, everyone, and welcome to this powerful transmission about grid work, awakening the eyes of innocence, and so much more. My name is Mel Garrity. I'm a wife and a mother of three beautiful boys here in New Zealand, and I am also a spiritual and business mentor and a ritual leader. I am so excited to be sharing this transmission with my beautiful friend and soul sister, Satu. Welcome, Satu.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here with all of you, and I'm so excited to be co-creating this sacred offering that has been brewing for a long time already in mine and Mel's field with all of you. And yeah, I'm Satu. I'm from Finland, and I'm also a wife. I'm a devotee to the divine path within. So the self-realization path is something that I'm walking in devotion together hand in hand with Mel. And we are inviting you all on this journey with us. So a sacred path for me has been also, and a very joyous path has been grid work. So I have been led and guided by the divine, the highest self of mine, to travel to different parts of this beautiful planet to activate a remembrance within myself. And as within, so without, it ripples out into the collective field and into the universe. And because everything is a sacred hologram of our own creation, it is actually waking ourselves up from this dream and the illusion of the separate mind. So, with this said, we are very excited to invite you with us on this journey to Scotland.
Hmm.
And would you like to continue from this about the collective awakening a little bit before we dive into the details about this retreat?
Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing. And my heart is just so exploding. I've been so
I'm
privileged
sure.
to, to walk the way with Satu in self-realization and self-love and self-devotion in my own path with her for 3 years now. And this has been the most sacred and profound awakening, and also an activation of my gifts and my planetary purpose. And the whole entire collective consciousness on this planet is awakening. And we know that this has been happening for quite a while, but it's increasing in its rate. And the speed in which people are able to awaken and self-realize and manifest has become very prevalent. And we wish to share with you some really sacred portals and ways in which you can take this process a step further and really become your own holy guide. And through this process, we are actually going to be physically taking our bodies to these sacred sites where we'll be calling you forward to join us and actually deepen in your own awakening. So at the moment, we all know that there are grids around the planet, and for this one in particular, we are being called forward to Scotland. This came as a divine download when Satu and I were actually traveling the Nile together in Egypt. And she was sharing with me these beautiful nudges from the divine around the purpose of this mission and the people who would be called forward to receive these powerful activations in their field. One point that I would love to remind you all for the consciousness and for our human self is that in the higher realms of light, we are not just our physicality. We are a big, sacred, geometric shape, and each and every single one of us has a different blueprint and different key codes that reside within our field. Now, you will know and be feeling an activation in your field now if this is calling you, because those codes that reside in your field are required to actually be at these sacred places where we're traveling to, not just for the greatest good of you, but for the greatest good of all. So, do you want to carry on and speak a little bit about the grids and about the mission and, yeah, whatever's flowing through?
Yeah, thank you so much, and so beautifully expressed. Yeah, I would like to continue from where this download about Scotland actually started. Since many years, I've felt the call to go to Scotland, but for some reason, it never happened. I was like literally trying to find my way and inspiration to go, but it was repelling me somehow. And then a year ago, I was traveling in Patagonia with my husband, and in one of the sacred sites that was about the mission at that time, I received massive, massive guidance to go to Scotland. I literally had to stop everything and just sit down and channel and write it down. And it was all about bringing soul family to Scotland. And I could see the profound connection between the southern and the northern hemispheres and the people, the soul family, us incarnating in different parts of the world. And actually, by the grace of the divine source light, we have come to connect through this amazing technology of internet with each other in this sacred time of collective awakening, which literally requires us to incarnate into different parts of the world, into different grids, to activate and actually also to receive certain patterns from our family, from the generations, mother, father line, and that is connected to the collective field. So here I am in Scotland, fully blown away by, like, finally, there is some connection to Scotland and the British Islands. And then I just let it go because I knew it wasn't meant to be at that time. And then, as Mel shared, we traveled in January to Kemet on this sacred pilgrimage to activate more of this remembrance within ourselves. And there was a huge calling for us to together co-create something similar. And I just knew, like, we sat on this felucca and traveled the Nile, and we were both just like, yeah, we need to go. Like, it was strong. It was so strong, the calling to go and to co-create this together, because it's beautiful with like sisters, like I love you, Mel, like coming together and being together and experience something on soul level, so profound, as we had our journey in Egypt. And at that time, I just fully knew that it's about really co-creating these sacred spaces together in groups and coming together. And as Mel shared, we have different key codes. We are unique for a reason. We have incarnated into different places of this planet for a reason. And it's because we are not only carrying, like, as we all know, like, let's be honest, there's a lot to heal through our family lines. But that is actually the perfection into like every detail of our soul's plan to awaken us from the dream, from the mental construct that we ourselves created for ourselves and for this divine journey. This planet is a master's planet. So you have not incarnated into kindergarten, my friends. You have incarnated into like a university degree planet with massive support, but also obstacles, like a huge journey to literally overcome our own mental patterns that we were like literally spoon fed when we were younger, through our culture, through our family, and such, to literally choose for ourselves, is this something that is literally based on truth? On the truth that will never ever shift no matter what happens. And the truth is that the mind patterns are just a recreation looping over and over and over again based on the past.
Mm.
And the invitation now to awakening, what is awakening? It's literally coming into the realization of who we truly are, and that has never ever shifted in the first place. Even though we incarnated into all of these creeds and patterns. So Scotland is an invitation to literally go to sacred sites that have the ability to propel us profoundly onto new timelines and dimensional fields. Because how is new timelines and new earth created? It's literally birthed through us, and how we see and how we radiate out the frequency onto this planet. So
And thank you so much for sharing. I want to go back a little bit if we can, because I feel like it would be really beneficial and something that I want to share vulnerably and just be so transparent with everyone here is the resistance that I've felt in my human self to answer the call, to be at these places and to receive these frequencies. And we've spoken in depth actually around the resistance that we feel in our human body and our mind, but also the repelling of the places that are there. And I remember we were speaking about the guardians of these places and these very sacred sites. Do you want to speak a little bit about the guardians of those sites and a little bit more around the resistance? Because we too have had to overcome, our own personal, mental, emotional, and physical resistances, not only to create this beautiful vortex for everybody, but actually to journey together and co-create. And because, as Satu said earlier, we are actually birthing these new creations together and through our being. And so when we come together and we're creating a unified field with a variety of different energetic blueprints and geometries, sacred chemistry begins to take place. And that chemistry is actually a very, very high calling, but there can be resistance in our being. Should I go? Should I not go? Is it me? Is it not me? And we just want to share.
And am I good enough?
Yes, that's been a really common theme for me to overcome. And perhaps many of you will resonate with that, because the truth is that you are, and that you'll feel it calling in your heart and in your field, drawing you to these places. But there is a resistance there for a reason. So can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, maybe I speak about my own resistance, so maybe it can help to unlock this a little bit, because everything is so mundane, like so connected to your own everyday life. So for myself, it has been actually quite easy to go to most places, but there has been a lock somehow into Scotland, even though it's part of my own ancestral connection through my family line.
Yeah, same.
So 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 literally it is connected to my own family patterns, and it has to do with my childhood, and how I was bullied and I was left alone. So a huge trigger for me has always actually been like being in groups, or it's easier to be with a few people and that feels comfortable to me. But actually, because this is a path of transcendence and actually overcoming your own patterns and limiting beliefs, it's about literally for me to now choose also to co-create this with a bigger group, because that is literally, we are not doing this alone. By no means, like nobody can survive this planet alone. We are meant to come together and connect together and enjoy life together and go on these adventures together. And my heart is singing with the joy of actually seeing all of you with us in Scotland. So these guardians are actually finding the perfect way of repelling you from these powerful portals, because they are so profound. And when you go with a certain intention, like you can go to a powerful portal and nothing happens. But when you go to a powerful portal point, grid point, that actually is transmitting frequency across the grid lines and to the collective field, it will have guardians and it will have these hurdles. So for me is the fear of, oh my God, will I be left alone and outside? For somebody else, it might be, am I good enough? Will I even feel anything? I have the call to go, but will I be good enough to do it? But it's the call within the heart that knows the way. The mind cannot understand these things. And the willingness, the devotion to even take the step is actually the only one we need to take, because the rest is not up to us. It's the divine co-creating and flowing through us. And that's the codes of this container and this retreat, this vortex together, this journey together, is literally allowing ourselves to finally rest within the divine and the divine frequency, merging together the divine feminine and the divine masculine frequencies into unity, taking the longest path, which is actually the shortest path, from the mind to the heart, and actually letting the heart guide the way, and our third eye finally see through the heart in the right frequency, in truth, not in the illusions and the recreations, but finally from truth. And that is innocence. And that is literally the purity of who we have always been, but we have just forgotten momentarily. And that is the university that we're in. And the invitation now, because there's, as we have this, you asked about the grid lines and the points. As we all know, we have these meridians and acupuncture points, nadis within our own body. So surprise, surprise, we have these same things mirrored out into the universe, into the galaxy, and the planet itself. So the planets have different alignments and pathways to different collections, like my English, it just flew out on the window. Like, so constellations, yeah. So these planets are part of different constellations and connected to stars. And now we are actually not only healing the generational mind creations, but actually we are connected so beyond into the galactic realms. And some of us might have already stepped on this journey, and it's a wild one. So these grid points and pathways are also flowing through this planet, and some of these points are actually connected also to the stars, and these are called stargates. And in Scotland there are many that we are guided to travel to, because they function as launch pads for us and our own evolution. But as we heal within and realize and take off the blinds and like literally peek through the veil and start to do that more and more, we are coming back into our natural organic blueprint, which has always been there. It has never left us. And we will start to actually remember that we were never separate in the first place.
Yes.
That there's nothing to fear.
Yes, so beautiful and so powerful. And this whole retreat is actually designed around the unification of the divine masculine and the divine feminine and the kundalini within ourselves, and to actually unlock some of the seals that have been placed on our consciousness. And it does actually require us to move bravely forward and actually be in these powerful Nadi points and these powerful Stargate points, not just for our own benefit, but for the benefit of all of humanity. This is a true planetary mission. It goes beyond the personal self, but of course, wherever there is sacrifice, which means to make sacred, it always is noticed by the divine intelligence, and there are rewards, of course, because that's part of our beautiful human experience. We get to have joy and adventure and fun and be together and heal and unlock these seals that may have kept us back in the past, and literally like propel and excel our journeys of awakening, of becoming, of unbecoming, and of stepping into these greater timelines and these higher timelines. And the reason why they become higher is because we actually have been the ones that have been able to create them. But in order for this to happen, there is a certain energy that resides within the planet. And this is like a lot of this information is swirling around on the internet at the moment, and really sharing about the kundalini of the planet, because the planet is alive, she is conscious, she is awakening, and she is moving and shifting and changing her frequency alongside us as a divine co-creation too. So I would love for you to speak on the third eye and the kundalini of the planet, if that feels good.
Yeah, of course. So where do I start? There are major chakra points on this planet that are stationary. They are not moving. They are placed across the planet for balancing the energy, and also sending out, and for certain people to have more influence to different energies than the other. So there's one exception, which is the third eye. And many believe, and me included with Mel, that the third eye is currently residing somewhere in the British Islands. And the profound thing about this is actually that the heart chakra is placed in Glastonbury and Stonehenge. So I spoke about the long short journey from the mind to the heart. So the unification of these energies, it's really coming together. We as a collective, we have chosen to awaken. It has been a choice on higher level, whether we know it or not. Some have made this decision really consciously. And now the planet is literally moving into a frequency and like divine timing of these energies merging together. So it feels like the third eye is at the moment in Scotland, and especially in Inverness location, which is also actually the connection, the third eye point of Scotland. And from there, it will most likely travel more into the, like, to unify with the heart. So it's very profound and is so connected to our own inner evolutionary journey. And it's so perfect, and it's so divinely timed.
Mm.
And it's actually of the higher power that this is coming together. The more we awaken, the more we actually peek through the veil, at least the case for me, and I know it's also for Mel, the profound realization and remembrance that actually it has always been this way, that there's just a massive exhale and resting in the divine knowing when the mind is literally transcended, even for a moment. That will be the most powerful thing that you will ever experience and want to experience, because in your heart and in your soul, you will know that this is the true me and it has never ever left me. So the planet is literally responding to us and transcending with us. And it can feel very overwhelming at times when we go through these ups and downs. And thank God we are here together with Soul Family to walk with and remind us that we are never alone. And that is actually the realization, the invitation of these energies to come into the real knowingness, not just with mental construct. It can be beautiful words that are appealing, but we need to start to realize this for ourselves. And when we see for ourselves the illusion, even for a moment, it will just be, it will be your realization into like, this is why I came here. This is the reason why I have withstood everything that I have gone through in my life. And
Yeah.
you will know that it's perfect and that I chose this.
And not only that, it was created by your highest self for your highest good. And what is the most exciting is when we were putting this retreat together, the guidance has just been so clear the whole time around these sacred grids, around these sacred access points, and around the third eye frequencies. I mean, like I pulled cards before we did this and we got the third eye. And so, like it's so clear around, like a laser, and for you to come and be here at these places. And the very beginning of our journey starts in Inverness, and it's going to be a magical week-long journey together in Scotland, where we will be like boots on the ground, like actually, visiting and exploring the cities, the sites, the not so known and more obscure, kind of hard to get to places, and traveling together as a unified field and held with the most divine, sacred, unconditional love as you begin to embody more of who you truly are. So if you are interested and you're hearing the sacred and divine call, please reach out to us. All of our details are going to be embedded on this video, or you can reach both of us on Instagram. My Instagram handle is multidimensional Mel, and Satu's is Satu Alina. You can see the spelling of that in this video. And we are really calling you forward to reach out to us, to connect, to talk, this really come into the field and feel our love and our friendship and the sisterhood and the sacredness that this journey has to offer you, because we are really here only holding the door open so that you can walk through it, and then holding the space as you integrate and receive these divine frequencies. So it's going to be such an amazing trip. It's booked for September this year, 2024, and we're going to be there right leading up to a really powerful time in the world as well. So it's all aligning beautifully, and we're calling you forward now to come and journey with us. So if this is calling you, please reach out, comment below, whatever you need. We've got an amazing brochure and all the details. The only thing you need to do is get yourself there.
I love that so much. As always, it speaks so beautifully from your heart. I love that so much. Yeah, my card, I will show it as well, because it's a perfect way of ending this. As I told you before, I needed to go to like a huge stepping out of my own way to firstly start to co-create this with Mel, and then to have the courage to step into these bigger group containers. And I feel it's time now. And the card that I had was of course, jump in with an I. So
So we're encouraging you to jump in and to feel those frequencies that we know you would have felt during this transmission. You are a sensitive, powerful being. And with love, we call you forward into becoming more into your greatest destiny, into reclaiming more of your purpose, and to be a divine servant of the divine. And allow these sacred frequencies to flow through you in this grid work mission. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your time, your presence. We're so grateful that you took the time to watch this video and to be here with us today. We love you so much, and we're so looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you. Blessed be.
Bye.
Bye.